Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wiseish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna. Welcome to our special Zoom meditation segments. Look, it's no joke. Things are kind of weird. It's just weird. Pandemics, protests, job insecurity, global pause. Everyone's numb, but also everyone's searching. And they might be searching on this little gadget of Zoom in a little box. People from all over the world who don't know each other are coming together in Zoom rooms to figure out who they are, why they're here, and how to meditate. Meditation is something that we've often thought that if we make our minds empty, we've meditated. I don't believe that. I think it's important that we learn how to channel our thoughts in a right way that are connected to our vision, our goal, our spiritual attainments, our mental capacity. Then you're really meditating. Welcome to the Brahma Kumaris, where a new world is opened up for you. From humble beginnings in India in 1936 to a global organization with over 8,000 centers in 110 countries and 1 million students worldwide. Through their tireless commitment, passionate heart, and determined spirit, the Brahma Kumaris arrived in America in 1974 and have since grown to 35 main centers throughout America. There are also 2 residential retreat centers, Peace Village, located in upstate New York, and Anubhuti, located in Novato, California.
I want to just share a little bit about how the centers of Raj Yoga meditation began in United States. Actually, I was in Caribbean islands and I got invitation from New York that we want to start something about meditation. And it was in 1978 I came here and we rented a very small apartment in Astoria. And from there I found that a lot of people have interest. I realized that there is so much need, and from there onwards, then centers started in many other states.
Our centers are safe spaces where you can explore the power of your inner world.
The classes are conducted in many, many homes, many cities, all over across the United States. A lot of people, they learn meditation, they use it, that meditation at their workplace, in their family. And also I find that children, young adults, because they are so much into like what really is the life about.
The Brahma Kumaris are dedicated to personal and global transformation through the study and spiritual practice of Raj Yoga meditation. And at the heart of our teaching is the belief that the pathway to peace and happiness is to remember our original nature as spiritual beings, connected to the one source. In 1981, the organization received recognition as an international non-governmental organization affiliated with the United Nations and accredited with general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council. From organizing large-scale global initiatives to local community programs, the Brahma Kumaris has a tradition of service in every field that fosters spiritual growth among individuals from all backgrounds, cultures, and walks of life.
I hold on to this vision, the world of love, world of peace and harmony, world which is free from conflict and sorrow, where we can live as brothers, one family, children of common parents, one supreme divine power.
This is your invitation to awaken and join us in creating a world of love, peace, and kindness. Om Shanti. Hello everyone. Om Shanti. Good evening. Welcome to your spiritual vaccine hour. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and this topic is so huge. We were talking about it before the cameras went on, and even Santosh, was like going, Sister, where do I begin with this topic? Because sometimes you're in other people's business, but it's not because you don't have a life, but it's because you want to make someone's life better. And when it feels like they don't want support or want help, but now you're so caught up in trying to help them that you've lost yourself. It's a huge topic. Our whole world is focused around other people's business and not our own. And yet, in one way, knowing about other people's business gives us insights into where we are and what we need to do. For example, the current situation in the United States of America and the world. We are interested in hearing the business of the leadership. We're interested to hear what are the scientists saying. Why? Because we feel it's to our advantage. We want to know what to do with our lives. So in that sense, to be interested in other people's business that connects to our own is vital for our survival. Let's say I ignore everything that the experts are saying, and let's say I say, leadership, I don't even know if I could trust them anymore, so just forget all of that. And let me just carry on and go out without my masks or gloves or anything and do what I want to do and go to pubs and bars and eat and do what I want, not worrying if I have COVID or not, and so on. Then that's not a good way, because that's actually, to me, more self-serving and selfish. One of the reasons why I think, and you can correct me, the assisted living shelters, the cases of the coronavirus is so high is that sometimes our elders aren't aware of how serious this particular virus is. And individuals that are at a particular age and not at a mental state of clarity, they don't know that this virus is killing people. They don't know that you can get it touching or hugging or not washing your hands or putting your hand in your eye or putting your finger in your nose or maybe taking the food and putting it in your mouth, and that you pick up the virus and a week or two later you're gone. You're gone. And they don't know that. So sometimes it's not necessarily the assisted living place that we should really blame, but it's not easy to take care of grown children in a facility of 50, 100 people and try to protect all of them, when they're not even aware of how serious it is. So I'm just inviting you all to ease up a little bit on the assisted living places. I'm sure it must be quite difficult. As you all know, each of us are working on ourselves here. Every night that we meet, we are working on how to make ourselves better. Today I went out. My wonderful friend took me out today to get a treatment, and then I wanted to go to Daddy's tree. We have a official government peace tree planted on Capitol Hill. So I have not seen it for a long time. So I asked Kanu, can you take us by the tree? Let me go and see it. So we drove by there, and it was just so refreshing to see the tree, and just came out, and we sat for meditation, and I did a twirl and just came home, and it was just delightful, just delightful. If you ever are by the north portal of the United States Capitol, it's next to the Peace Navy Memorial. It's a memorial of two women standing, one holding the paper, other one holding a torch. It's right across from the reflecting pool. There is our Brahma Kumari's official peace tree that so many folks used to go to back in the day and sit there for a moment of meditation in silence. And it's been up there since 2000, I believe. And on 3 occasions it had picked up a virus because it's planted on this knoll. And the Krista McCullough, remember the teacher that was in the Space Challenger? So her tree is to the east of our tree, and there's another tree to the west, and our tree is right there in the middle. So sometimes the light, the sunlight, doesn't hit it as strong, and for some reason it's been picking up a little virus. And I think it's quite symbolic that when it comes onto the path of spirituality or the path of peace, there's a lot of challenges and obstacles that come, but you can't stop. You have to keep persevering. And another story that came up, I think that was yesterday and today, Kanu and I were talking as she came over, and I said, I was having a conversation with someone that, because I've made a sacrifice to offer my life of service and to God, everybody keeps telling me, rest, take it easy, do too much. And I keep telling everyone, but I love what I do. I'm okay so far. Let's just keep going. But the story is, I don't believe that if you have decided or you've been called to offer this life of yours in service to God, to the upliftment of humanity, why should I be living a life of like a martyr, Or, how sometimes there's this look on people's face like I've sacrificed a lot, and let me show you how much I've given up. Of course I have. I've given up a lot of the world. I've given up all of the world and the way that it functions. And I might have 10% still left in me of stuff of the world, but I'm not. I was talking to Kanu, and goes, why should I be so sad and so depressed and so letting you know how much I've sacrificed to be of service? And I said today around breakfast, well, the fact that I gave my life to God and to service, isn't that a celebration? And that's how I felt with my spin today when I was out by Daddy's tree, was like, I'm celebrating that in this incarnation, in this birth, I actually chose to mind my own business and listen to the signals from above and allow that to be of service, to do what it needs to do through me. And I want you to think about that too for yourself. There was a time, there's a story Daddy Janki told many years ago, and it was this kind of a mystic and psychic sort of a guru that had come to our Brahma Kumari's headquarters in Mount Abu. And when he was walking in the original old facility, it was clear that he could feel there is definitely a special power in this place. But then he was confused because he said, I don't understand. Aren't you all supposed to be evolved and elevated? And Daddy looked at him, of course. It's like, well, we are. We're Baba's children. We're God's children. And he says, but I don't believe that you all are, because everyone's happy. And he looked at being spiritual or being spiritually evolved as someone who wouldn't be happy. And here Daddy's like, but I don't understand. If I'm evolving, then my happiness will increase. And yet I was looking back at religion, and I was looking back at spirituality and the path of people, that so many people have adapted to this martyr role. Like, if I'm not suffering while I'm with God, then you won't believe that I have made this sacrifice. I don't know if I'm talking to anybody out there today. And I've thought about it today a lot, because when you mind your own business, there is such a deep, intimate, beautiful relationship between you and the divine. And however Baba chooses to use you, when another one of his children are in need, then that's not interfering in other people's affairs. You're actually still minding your business because you're now allowing Baba's energy to begin to extend to another one of his children that might be struggling with feeling worthy enough to be loved by him. But then the energy of that will work through you for that soul. And Baba will work through us in that way. And I find that not a martyring image. I find that like a celebration. Let's celebrate and actually see, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen for me. So I was having this conversation today, people who mind their own business will have more time to focus on themselves. People who mind their own business will stop playing games of manipulation, trying to control people, trying to make people do what they want them to do so they can be happy. All the various ways that we step into people's affairs to basically try to make folks feel like we know better. Now, there's the other way that you get involved with people's affairs where you're feeling like, I'm here to support, I'm here to help, is there anything I can do? That is also minding your own business because you're in such a sensitive, intuitive place. You are able to offer yourself of service if it's needed. If it's needed. And there's some of us who will force service on people. You listen to me, let me tell you, this is how you're going to learn, this is how you're going to get it. And there's some folks who will sort of really try to push information in you, push a message in you, push a direction in you. And you become so saturated with their information that you don't even know what to do anymore with it. And I believe, and I think it's the path very much of the Brahma Kumaris, be gentle, open, pure, and easy enough that anyone who is opened to that method of quietude and sincerity and purity will hear your words, will hear your intention, will understand and catch the energy of God's love. Now, I'm not saying people who are forcing a message down our throat is not serving and doing God's work. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's something that I know I've also processed my first early years where I used to feel like I had to give, let me tell you what's going to happen. And then after a while I started to also become so sensitive, like I could pick up what was going on with people. I could tell them what would happen next, and I could just know things. And then I'd realize that I was so caught up in other people's business. They didn't ask me anything, and yet I knew what was going on with them. And so, of course, there'd be times when people would come and say, Sister Jenna, could you tell me, what do you think? This. And then I'd be like, yeah, well, just pay attention to that. But then after a while, I remembered waking up one morning in meditation and I said, I'm not here to be caught up in people's business. I'm here for my transformation. And if anyone wants to travel with me, let's go, Chile, let's go. But I don't want to be caught up in people's minds and what's happening with them unless they're asking me. And yes, if I sense something, and yes, if you're close to me, then I'll say something. Be careful. Watch that. Celebrate this. But it's not like I want to be caught up in people's affairs. We're so saturated with the news about who's doing what, about what this one has done next, and what did they roll back from the last administration. And it's almost as if we're so caught up in their affairs that we naturally start to speak more about them than about how we're doing. So when we get caught up in other people's business, we lose profit. We lose the ability to profit on using our thoughts and our energy on ourselves to understand who we really are. So I came across a really nice narrative for about 10 minutes with Abraham Hicks, really nice teacher. And I'd like you to kind of sink into it because it has a lot to do with today's discussion as well. And I'll see you back shortly.
Well, you said something just now. If I'm connected, why do I feel like that? And we want to say you don't feel like that when you're in alignment with who you are. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to ask them to believe differently? Are you going to ask them to behave differently? Or are you going to be able to be in alignment even if they are behaving in a way that isn't pleasing to you? In other words, this is a really powerful example of a condition that really yanked your chain. And unless you're really secure in what you know.
But I am. They're not making me question it. I'm just wondering why it's such a negative reaction I have.
Because you were worried about them upsetting people that you cared about, because you were worried about the path of least resistance for the patients. But can you protect them from their own beliefs, or from their family members, or from each other, or from someone who is well-meaning, who... This is what we were talking about earlier when we were saying that almost everyone wants to be heard, and almost everyone believes that they are standing in a place of rightness. That's why they want to explain. And so it's really not so different, you or Abraham expressing what we know, than anyone expressing what they know. Shouldn't they have the opportunity to say what they believe to be?
But we know that your emotions are your guide. And if you're feeling good, you know you're on a path that's...
You know that, and we know that, but they don't know that. And apparently, you didn't know it for a minute either, because your emotions got the best of you. In other words, you see what we're getting at?
I just wonder why they would want to go to church and preach that and think that, because I know it can't be making them feel good.
Well, so let's walk through this. Let's talk about path of least resistance. So we want to ask you, from the standpoint of a child, what's the path of least resistance for the child? To believe what his parents say, or to not believe what his parents say?
Believe what his parents say.
So as this child gets older and starts having some experiences of his own, he might then begin to discover some different path of lesser resistance. But let's say, for whatever reason, that this person continues to want to do what he believes is good, and has not understood about law of attraction, and has not come into contact with any information about what your guidance system is, but still just vehemently wants to do what's good. So is it the path of least resistance for him maybe to go to church rather than not to go to church? Can you sort of kind of see that? So what you're questioning, and we talk about this a lot too, is how does a person get to a place where their own guidance system can be so completely ignored?
Yes.
And it's because they've been in an environment where they haven't allowed themselves to really acknowledge what they are feeling. You answered your own question with your statement about how does an angry God and a loving God end up in the same sentence. It does not. It cannot be vibrationally accurate. But if someone hasn't reasoned them out through their own resources, if you are one of many of the people upon this earth who the only way you can discover right or wrong, or discover what the best path for you to follow, is by comparing the fully manifested version of people, you're having a lot of trouble, because the conditions of their life experiences are so convoluted and so varied. It really isn't until you get inside of this emotion that you could ever sort it out. So what's the path of least resistance for you? Think about this. When you see someone doing what you believe is unnecessarily torturing people that you care about, and maybe even unnecessarily leading them astray,
right,
from your point of view, what's the path of least resistance for you in that scenario? To hate those people, to hate those haters, or to love them?
I didn't hate him. I just wanted him to go.
Well, we're using strong words here, but you were offering a pretty strong vibration. Theoretically then, we're pretend like we're not talking about you. What's the path of least resistance? To hate the haters or to try to give them the benefit of the doubt?
Give them benefit of the doubt.
So now let's take that a little further. So as you give them the benefit of the doubt, as you try to give them the benefit of the doubt, do you think that they mean well or mean harm in being there? In other words, let's say they're misguided just for kicks, but whether they're misguided or not, do you think that they mean well or they mean harm?
I think they mean well, and they're doing the best they can with the knowledge that they have.
All right, so they mean well. So now ask yourself, do you mean well or do you mean harm?
I mean well.
So you're doing the best that you can relative to them. Is it the path of least resistance for you to give them the benefit of the doubt, or for you to really focus upon the harm that they could be doing? What's the path of least resistance for you?
Benefit of the doubt.
So do you believe that they have access to source energy also?
Yes.
Do you believe that their guidance system is working right here and now? In other words, do you believe that...
No, I don't think they're tuned into their guidance system.
But do you believe that their inner being has an opinion?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And do you believe that some of the anger that they are demonstrating is evidence that their guidance is showing them in that moment that they're off track here?
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Oh, what are you
like
witnessing? Are you witnessing somebody in harmony with source or in discord with source? So their guidance system is really working well, isn't it? So now is the path of least resistance for you to lovingly assist or to get in their face and make it worse? Let's say, just for kicks, to lovingly assist. So let's say, because you feel different now, because
I do. You made me look at it differently.
you just said something very profound. You just acknowledged that their guidance system is working, and that's why they're so angry. Holy crap. Don't you think that's something really worth thinking about? So that's why they're shaking their fists. They're not worried about their salvation, so to speak. They are feeling their own discord with everything that they want. Everything that matters to them is on the line here. Their own belief system is being challenged by their own beliefs. Because what the source within them knows and what they are demonstrating in that moment is at odds. So now, if you're in alignment, let's say that you get a do-over on that, and you will. And let's say that now you're sort of in a different place than you were before. So now you witness that, but then on the way out, you walk out with the one who did the most speaking. And you say, you know, I didn't always, but I want you to know I really do appreciate you guys taking your time to come here tonight. I know that your heart is really in the right place. I know that you really care about all of this. And last time you were here, or before when I saw something like this, I had a sort of feeling come over me. It was sort of like almost an inspiration from God as it was happening, as a result of what you said here. And that'll get their attention because they like thinking that they are that inspiration of God. And then you could say, following your path of least resistance, it just makes me wonder how in sync or in harmony any of us are with God, which I know is love, when we feel anger. What do you think about that? I was hoping you'd come back so I could ask you that. They'll take pause at that. And then you say, well, or better, maybe I have a better question for you. Were you feeling angry? Because you looked like you were. You looked angry. Were you angry? And we think that they would say no. We think that they would say, no, I'm representing the love of God.
Right.
And then you might say, well, it didn't feel loving.
Right.
It didn't feel loving. Didn't feel comforting. Didn't feel loving. Frankly, didn't feel like God. Didn't feel like that. So I thought maybe you weren't there.
That's good.
Well, the only hope you have of assisting anyone is to acquaint them with their own guidance system. Now, if you've got their attention, then you could go on to say that God is always right there for me, and sometimes I can feel and hear, and sometimes I cannot. And when I'm in the state that I saw you in, when I'm in that state, I know that I'm a million miles from allowing the inspiration of God. I do not believe that God is ever shaking his finger at any of us. I do not believe that. And when you do not represent God from my point of view. You do not represent God from my point of view. Or you could take the path of least resistance and just mind your own business. Because everything that we just said here was reasonable, and everything that we just said here really represents what you know, and it came into alignment for you and for a lot of people. But if you were to say that to them, all you would get is a wall of resistance.
Right.
All you would get is more. Nothing good would come of it, because if they're not in the receptive mode of God directly, what makes you think they'll be in the receptive mode of God through you? They're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. But you can put yourself in the receptive mode by giving them the benefit of the doubt. They're giving up their evening. They mean well. They are caring, compassionate people. They do want to make a difference. If you will make your list of positive aspects about the people that are driving you nuts, pretty soon they'll stop driving you nuts and they'll go away. Because when you activate within yourself something that they are not regularly demonstrating, they cannot stay in your experience. Law of attraction just doesn't allow them to stay up close to you. But if you are arguing with them, trying to wrestle them to the ground and make them understand, if you are reasoning with them, if you are trying to create the path of their least resistance for them, now you're all twirled up in their energy and they're all around.
Did that answer a lot of your questions, everyone? I love Abraham. You know, we're supposed to have her on America Meditating Radio. Have to remember to do a follow-up on that one. But did you hear that session? Any questions at all? Is there anything on your mind after really looking at our discussion of minding our own business? I think we get so confused with the fact that sometimes our frustration gets caught up in what we think is that we want to help or be there for somebody. You know, we always feel like, I want to do this for you because... And then we lose our peace. And I'll find that when I need to back off from minding my own business is when I don't feel peaceful anymore trying to help. Santosh and I were just really talking about, you know, are we not minding our business when we are trying to help Sister Gita out? And I'm thinking about that. You know, I told you yesterday I was in like a raunchy mood. And am I minding my business? There's a part of me that says I have to allow her to let go. I mean, again, you know, today it's like, take me to the hospital. I'm going through this. I'm feeling this. And when she went to her oncologist a few weeks ago, right? The oncologist says, weren't you having the same pain 10 years ago? She goes, no, not like this, not like this. And there was something that came to my mind the other day, and I think that was yesterday when I was feeling a little uncomfortable inside. I was like, is it really her forgetfulness now, or is this what? This has been going on for a long time. And I have really allowed the soul to play out the part. If everybody knows me closely, I don't try to push too much or get caught up too much in people's affairs, because I trust that everybody intuitively senses what they need to do. Yes, when I can see that you're going a little bit way too off from your ultimate goal, then I will come in, I will say something. It can be sometimes aggressive, it can be sometimes loving. It depends on the situation, but my intentions are there to help. To help. But I've found that when I don't mind my business and I'm getting involved with other people's stuff and I'm losing my peace, this isn't right, because I'm coming from a limitation in my awareness, an expectation, a desire, a control, something that I still haven't understood. And to be very honest with you, like Abraham said, you start to wag your finger at the person, you need to do this, and the question is, God has never done that to me, so why am I doing it to you? In a way, when you look at the way God has functioned as well, the energy of Baba, who we know we call God here Baba, the energy of Baba has basically mined his business, her business. And what I've seen in the energy of Baba is that Baba will very peacefully come and say something, what we call offer knowledge, offer wisdom, and then we'll just go back to his position. Every day he'll come and give you a message, give you some wisdom, give you some knowledge, with the intention, hopefully you'll use it. Let's see what's recorded in the drama of life. And then he'll go back. I've never once felt or heard God's energy angry at me. Never. For not living up to his standards. And yet we do it. With each other all the time. We get angry with our teenagers for growing. We get angry with our parents for losing their memory. We get angry with our staff for not matching the vision or being inspired. We get angry with ourselves for not fulfilling our childhood dreams. We're moving away from Baba because Baba doesn't do that. Baba has this way of speaking to you very respectfully and very lovingly, subtly letting you know what, I think there might be another way of doing this. I think there's more to you than what you're living through. But he doesn't wag his finger at you. But we do, with each other all the time. So the whole connection of minding your own business for me is that I'm deeply connected to Baba, to Source. And when I need to say something, I will. When I need to leave it alone, I leave it alone. Because this is all about working on you right now. To be able to match the energy and the presence of the divine. And just like how friends will talk to each other using each other's wisdom and expertise and knowledge, don't you think our souls also need knowledge from the Supreme Source? And I don't mean a scripture. I mean being able to settle quietly in yourself and begin to hear Baba really talking to you with knowledge. This is what I love about the morning sessions in the Brahma Kumaris with the Murli. The Murli becomes a teaching that keeps reminding you, okay, where are you inside? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Are you okay? Is your head caught up in spinning thoughts about other people? Or are you working on the development of your own inner world? And again, it's okay, when we go through those experiences down certain paths that we lose sight of ourselves and we lose connection with God and our higher sense of self. It's okay, because sometimes even when we go down that road, we find something that we needed to be carrying. It takes us into a connection with something else. When certain events happen that you wish would not happen to you, you find, oh, well, this person comes into my life, and then, oh, because of this person, I was now redirected to this particular human being, and this particular human being played a very big role in something. And this is why having connection with each other is really very vital. But not when you're caught up in people's business to manipulate their stories, to control their stories, to fulfill your unfulfilled desires within you, which a lot of parents do that with their children. We get caught up in each other's affairs and we don't spend any more time with, well, what's my development? Where's my love for me here? How do I find my love for me? Because if 80% of my thoughts are on you, where do I get to do my work? So it's still something that we've been working on, and even if, like, sometimes I just leave Sister Gita to do what she wants to do, but a part of my heart says, but let me guide her. But then I'll guide her, and then she'd be like, no, I want to go this way. I go, no, that's down the dungeon, that's the pit. No, you can't go there. I'm just trying to pull her back. No, not down the pit. No, I want to go to the pit. Then I just go, well, go to the pit. No, I can't do that. So really what I'm learning is to be able to understand the situation at hand, and that my assisting the soul isn't from me. This is God, this is Baba saying, take my child's hand and just guide her this way. She doesn't know where she's going. So then if it's Baba who's giving the signals, then I won't be disturbed. I'll be fine. But when I let Baba's hand go, and then it's just me and what I think is going on, it becomes ugly. I just want to tell you, ugly. There used to be a beauty supply store, a beauty shop across from the meditation museum, the first meditation museum in downtown Silver Spring. We would laugh so much. There's some itching in my eye. And remember that shop, Sister Santosh? On the outside of the shop, the signage on the shop, you're going to all crack up. Come in ugly, leave beautiful. We used to laugh so much, like we would actually not mind our business, and we would be looking across the street to see, let's see who's going in ugly, and let's see if they come out looking beautiful. So we were saying that we should put up a sign like that at the meditation museum. Come in frustrated and confused and leave at peace. Just like, no, we won't do that. But anyway, let me hear. Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the topic today and it's giving you some insights. Okay, great. Yeah, focus on what you want, and okay, great. So everyone's enjoying the session today. Yeah, Portia, remember that beauty shop? Come in ugly. Come in ugly. Leave beautiful. It was amazing, right? Yes, health is wealth. I agree that self-care is very important and necessary. Nikki Dicky, I'm glad that you're enjoying the session today. Yes, it's wonderful. And December is magical. Happy Rocky to you too, my dear sweet sister. All right, so with all of these thoughts that we're percolating, because especially as a mother, you know, how do you mind your own business when your child is going out in the car and staying out late at night? You don't. You tell that child and you put a GPS tracker on your phone. That's why I wasn't a mother in this birth, I swear. Don't know what I'd do with my kids. I'd put a GPS tracker, I'd put a little ankle on their legs, and you gotta be home by 11. It must be so hard to be a parent now, but anyway. Life is funny on the Ponderosa, isn't it? Anyway, so as I was sharing with you, let us see how we could move forward and really begin to understand who we are. And Darlene, I really appreciate that you know that you are a giver, and sometimes you forget to care about yourself. So yes, it's very true. It's important to be detached and loving. How to handle disagreements that you have with your children, with your child. Something that has helped me with Sister Gita, because she's like a child again, is that she's Baba's child. She's not mine, she's Baba's. And sometimes I get very, very, very frustrated because in the daytime, our scheduling is so busy, and I want to be able to offer her the time and the attention that she deserves. So actually, when I have the time to offer her the time and attention that she deserves, that's when she wants to go and do her thing. She wants to go out and take care of the compost. She wants to be in her room. She wants to call people on her phone. And I have time to spend with her. So if I don't go in her room, then, it won't happen. But now when we're on a Zoom meeting or we're recording something, that's when Sister Gita wants to come. When we have friends over, that's when she wants to come. So then I have to find myself balancing that out, but it's not always that easy. So even when your child is playing their role, then you have to let them play it. They're Baba's child. I'm a caretaker, I'm a trustee of this soul. So, Baba, what do you want for this soul? And that has helped me so much. I've asked that with Sister Gita, Baba, what do you want for this soul? And the answer Baba gives me again and again, you will see. She will find the courage to turn this around. She will make the impossible possible. And I hold on to that because I have nothing else to hold on to. I've asked Baba. That was Baba's answer. The method that the sister uses, I would be like, I wouldn't use that method. I don't go to God and ask Him for anything. I don't beg God for anything. I know God's energy is available to transform what I wish to have change in my life. And I need the positive power and the positive framing and the positive track of thoughts to allow God's energy to come in and shift. But I don't go to God and beg God for anything. And I don't believe God does that to me either. So I can't go and beg people to change. They don't. And I can't wag my finger at people and say, you have to do this, because they don't. And the only power that I have and you have, I have to mind my business. And I have to keep looking at how Baba stays up there in that elevated region, sends wisdom down every day, allows me to decide, are you going to use it or not? But he never gets upset. He's just so calm, so observant, so significant, so relevant, so real, and so pure. You get your head all caught up when you start to think about it should be like this. Why isn't it like this? Why doesn't my spouse act like this? Why doesn't my child, my boss, my mother, my father, my in-law, why can't they be like this? You're not minding your business. That means you don't know what the energy level is needed from you to transcend those relationships so that they can be what you want them to be. You're stuck at the ground level that they're at. How do you expect to get out of it? Let's have some love in the room now. Let's do a nice meditation on love and seep into this, because love is the cure. We talk about it a lot, but it's huge. And I know that if we can just light that love up, everything will be okay. Take a breath.
I accept myself now. My past, my aspirations, my hopes, my dreams, my achievements, and my mistakes all merge within the present moment. I relax into who I am. I accept myself as I am. tune into the silent stillness of my being and connect with the original qualities of my spirit. Gentleness, strength, happiness, with gentleness, I live a life of love, not control, love. I have the strength to pursue my own journey, to find truth, and to live truth. When I am at one with the love inside me, I experience happiness. In the pure simplicity of my spirit, I find only love. Not the desire to control or direct, but real love. A love that surrounds me in gentleness and acceptance, contentment and humility. I am love. I allow the experience of love, not seeking it externally, but recognizing it as part of my inner nature. I feel the power of this love uplifting me and awakening my innate divinity. I become love. I allow love to radiate through my spirit and reveal itself in my thoughts, my words, my actions. I observe without judgment, and I reveal love. I speak without arrogance, and I teach love. I act without complexity, and I become love. As I become love, I become divine. I am divine, and my life expresses the pure gentleness of my spirit. I feel a deep sense of belonging to the world, and the world belonging to me. Through the power of my own divinity, I cooperate with love's task of revealing truth. And healing the world.
This stillness will help us to sink deeper into our personal affairs, because in our quietude and in our silence we're able to see the disturbance, all the areas that we haven't been addressing, all the places that I've been channeling my energy into other people's affairs and not taking care of my own. It's a wonderful sister. Before we come to a close, she has a natural innate ability to know what other people are doing and what they're up to. And then I had to come up with a phrase to tell her, "Mind your business, just mind your business, don't go there." Then I started to just use that. So like Portia is saying MYOB, I just tell mind your business, just mind your business. It's not our stuff. Keep going. Let's get on with Baba's work. Mind your business, okay? So whenever you feel like you have someone at home and they're getting all caught up in other people's affairs at home, turn to the person very sweetly and do your Om Shanti, mind your business, just mind your business. And then that'll work. It'll just be perfect. You'll have absolutely no problem. We were thinking about how Sister Gita, does she mind her business throughout the day? And Santosh was saying, she knows what food is in your plate. She knows what packages have come to the door. She knows if you've left the house or not. She knows where all the keys are in the house, yet we don't know where anything is. So, in one way, she's been minding her own business, but also caught up in everybody else's business. And sometimes that drives us up a wall. But what to do? Family, no? So things are like this now. But just for close of today's program, just to keep in mind, Baba doesn't get too involved, and yet he's completely involved by the fact that every day he will come and give you some aspect of wisdom to just say, pay attention, pay attention. But he never gets upset with you. So I don't know if we have permission to do that. It's time for us to become self-sovereigns and to know that we're sharing our lives with each other. But when you go to Baba and ask, Baba, what is needed here? He will guide you. He will say, come and support. Or he'll say, don't touch it. You'll get the touching. Sometimes when you're too close, you won't get an answer. When you're more detached, the answer will become clearer. Just keep checking on how you're feeling. Do the work. Focus on your well-being and your empowerment and your love and mind your business. Right, Sister Gita? Right. So thanks a lot for joining us again today for your spiritual vaccine hour. And it's our pure wish that you are taking very good care of yourself and being able to accept and appreciate all that you have done and been through, and that you're at a particular point in your life that it's important and it's relevant, and you are here to make some changes on your own, with your own abilities, your own strengths, by taking love from Baba and being open to the transformation and the changes that want to occur in your life. So lots and lots of pure feelings, lots of positive vibrations, lots of peace, lots of happiness, lots of good wishes. Have a wonderful night tonight. Good night. Om Shanti. Take care.